Black Scully on check. Got a little CFB Nation kind of Big 12 T on check. Welcome to another marvelous episode. On today's docket, first things first, viewer discretion is advised. After last weekend was Crow Monday, this is Celebration Monday this week. You ever have a day, if you do any type of media or you work in this realm, it don't even matter whether you're in this field or, maybe you're an architect and your blueprints were so fire they came out better than expected. And then when people tried to doubt you, you proved them wrong. You ever have a day like that? Well, that weekend was this weekend for me. There were a lot of statements made in the preseason this past, off the thing that a lot of people call the off season, but you guys, the 1%ers who watch this show, and me, we don't care about the all that verbiage. We don't even like to use that verbiage, off season. But the work that you done, the work that you put in this off season, you see it. Like you start to see it. Like I've been pounding the table about Sawyer Robinson. You see it. He leads the nation in passing. I mean, like last 2 years, quarterbacks. I mean, if this thing continues for Sawyer Robinson, I mean, between Cal McCord, my prediction he'll be a top 5 passer. He ended up being the number 1 passer in the country a season ago. Sawyer Robinson, I had him number 5. And some people was like, yo, Governor, why you got him so high, bro? Like I had him over Sam Levin in the Big 12, quarterback rankings, even though I do think the Big 12 has the deepest, quarterbacks in any other conference. But do you ever have one of those weekends? You ever had one of those days where you're like, yeah, this is what the heck I'm supposed to be doing? Maybe, you're playing, collegiate ball now. There was a moment in high school or junior high school you knew you were supposed to be doing that. I had that type of weekend as a media personality this past weekend. But let's get into all today's docket. Got a lot to talk about today. Celebration Monday, as I like to call it. Last weekend, like I said, man, last Monday, it was Crow Monday. I ate a lot of crow, but this Celebration Monday, we celebrating a lot this Monday. So on today's docket, far into the news segment, you guys know we recap the weekend. What 6 games or headlines mattered the most? South Florida shocking Florida in the swamp. That's probably about the only thing I ate crow on this weekend. My opinion on Florida, and kind of had, when I'm looking at teams and I'm looking at their depth, and I'm looking at the coaches, the coordinators, and I'm looking at how they're going to use the talent that they have and how they're going to scheme. My only concern with Florida is kind of what we got in DJ Lagway last year. Granted, the games that he started and finished, he did go undefeated. Did have the loss to Georgia a season ago, but he did get hurt during that game. But there has been moments where I'm like, okay, and that's why he was omitted from my top 10 quarterbacks. I also omitted Arch Manning just because he hadn't had enough snaps. I agreed with Greg McElroy. He said it. I'm like, you know what? He's right. He should be omitted from this list. But yeah, so if I am, but Billy Napier seat is getting warmer, and of course you lose to a team like South Florida, but the good news is for South Florida, you came a long way. The bad news is for South Florida that Alex Golesh is going to be a buzzword this upcoming coaches carousel. The work that he did in Knoxville as the offensive coordinator for Tennessee when they set the college football world ablaze back in 2022, I'm telling you, Alex Golesh is one of those coaches they have next. I promise you that. Mississippi State takes that Arizona State on a late Blake Shapen bomb. Starkville was amazing. I just get happy for teams. That program been waiting for a win like that for a very long time. Super excited for what that program, was able to accomplish this past weekend. That was my upset. I did tell you guys, watching the show, I did have Arizona State on upset alert. I knew how difficult it was going to be to go in Starkville and beat them. I just knew it. I called it. I made the pick too in the S-Pop league that I'm in, the Pick'em league I'm in. We went from worst to first. Shout out to that. Celebration Monday shall continue. Baylor outlasts SMU in double overtime classic. Yo, I'm invested in Baylor. And I'm going to just say this. I'm going to try to go to 2 games this week. I want to go to one on Friday night and one on Saturday. I did want to go see John Material this weekend in Temple. We have a great relationship with Temple, but I'm going to hit up Moon and say, Moon, send me to Baylor. I don't care they're playing Sanford, not Stanford, but Sanford. I need to go see this team in person. I need to go see Sawyer Robinson light it up. So that's where I'm going this weekend, 100%. And I'm going to go to a Friday night game as well. So I will go to 2 games this week. Also, shout out to Josh Pate. I seen he did a double dip. I know my man Moon is famous for it. I've even seen Moon go to triple games, 3 games in a week. But I saw that Josh Pate went to the Cyhawk game, then he went to Oklahoma. Bro, that's legendary, brother, legendary. I'm happy to see it. But yeah, Baylor outlasts SMU in a double overtime classic. That game, it just felt like SMU, all right, they won. It was kind of like the Bills and Ravens game last night, if you watched it. I got a lot of text messages early, man. And those people weren't too happy after the game, I'll just tell you that. Illinois dominated Duke on the road. That game, I told you guys in the offseason that'll be a calibration game. I'm telling you, Illinois can win the Big Ten. Make no mistake about it. I do have them in my college football playoff. But seeing what I saw the other day, and I know some of you guys, if you're not privy to how good Duke was a season ago, Duke is a really good football team. Yes, they struggled in the first half versus Elon, but they got it together in the second half. That one was crazy. Iowa State wins another Cyhawk thriller. It was a typical Cyhawk game. I remember me and Jalen was laughing because one game was won on 6 field goals a couple of seasons ago. Oklahoma locks down Michigan in a blue blood clash. Now Sharon Moore will go service 2-game suspension. How do they play? They'll handle business versus Central Michigan, but how will they look versus Nebraska? Pick'em League update. We're going to do that. I want a perfect 8-0. My dog, Road Dog from, that's the one who, that's the guy. Shout out to Road Dog. I actually got to shout a couple people out. Shout out to Road Dog. There's so many people that show love, bro. Whether they just met me or they happen to come across the stream, they show a lot of love. So I want to shout out Road Dog because Road Dog, sits. He and I interacted first on Twitter when he was asking me, "Yo, Gov, you wanna be a part of our Pick'em League with other people in the media?" Absolutely. And then also shout out to Squid 10 Toes, another person who shows a lot of love. I like to show love to people who always try to show love to the platform, and they come here. You guys can go anywhere else to watch college football content, but y'all here, and I really do appreciate that. Pick'em League update. We was in there last week. It was rough, but I knew it's a long season. Went 8-0. My dog, Road Dog, said that was the first time a picker has ever went 8-0 since they've been doing this thing. So yeah, it was we was in the basement to the penthouse, man. Started from the bottom. Now we're there. You know what I'm saying? Happy about that. AP poll top 25 reaction. CFB Nation poll will be coming out either tonight or tomorrow. We already got the results. I just got to get the results to Nino. Also, a Reaction Monday. We live at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super happy about that. Me and Jalen are also going to try to go live twice a week now with College Football Showdown. We do the vertical episodes with that. Governor's ruling. We're looking at hot seat watch already. And I tell you, Billy Napier's seat is heating up. Because I was just looking at the numbers. Them boosters can find that anywhere. So his seat is extremely hot. And I hate that for him because they have such a talented team. You can't blame your roster construction, right? Only thing you can blame is execution. Like, you let a team, a non-power 4 team, nonetheless, but you let a G5 team come in and outmuscle you, bro. And Byron Brown, put some respect on that gentleman's name. Brent Pry, hottest seat in the country. When I tell you, people at Virginia Tech is infuriated with him. And you know what really angers me is that he's really a good ball coach. And he's a better human being. I've had the blessed opportunity to be able to talk to a lot of these people. Brent Pry is an outstanding dude, and it's frustrating to see that. And then just because he's a coach, a lot of people would think it's nepotism why he got into this position. He worked really hard, FCS level, G5 level. Became a stud defensive coordinator at Penn State. That's how he landed this job, and it's been really frustrating watching Virginia Tech the last 2 years. It really has. Mike Gundy is also on that list. Shall we say Kirk Ferentz is on that list after the Cyhawk loss? Is that an overreaction? Probably. But, they got rid of his son, Brian, because of the nepotism. He just couldn't get it going offensively. And Tim Lester, I thought, took a great step in the right direction last year. I thought they got their guy quarterback, Mark Gronowski. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. And then Kalen DeBoer is also on the hot seat. So those are the topics we're talking about today. So we got the AP poll, reaction, the Pick'em League update, governor ruling. And then we also have Around the Nation. I don't even remember what that was for, but we have it as well. Governor of College Football, hashtag go CFB. CFB Nation, your only college football destination. Let's get it. Governor of College Football, we're going to recap ACC.
Hey, that's CJ
Great defensive minds. They have to be better on that side of the Alrighty, and we're back. We're going to talk a little bit more, what I like to call, what I want to call week 2, upset special alert. I think we saw some fantastic things going on with these past week 2 games. And you know what's the craziest thing about it all? That there were some people that thought because week 1 slate of games were so phenomenal, they thought this second slate, this week 2 games that won a lot of good games. And I told people, it's some sneaky, really good games this week. I kept cautioning everybody all week. It's some sneaky games this week, right? And I guess people weren't hearing me, dog. But yeah, some really good games this past week. Like I said, I ain't mad at it at all. But yeah, let's get into this news. So the first game, my apologies, y'all. I'm combing through my notes. Here we go. I knew I was missing some notes somewhere, so we just leave that right there. Anyway, so South Florida stuns Florida 18-16. There's only one person I want to hear give a take about this game, and that one person is Steve Spurrier. Like, I've been combing the internet. I think he has a podcast, or he appears on a lot of podcasts, and that's how I get a lot of his news. I cannot wait to hear what the old ball coach has to say, because you're going to get honesty, whether you like it or not. You are going to get honesty. And he said before that he thought that Billy Napier needed to tidy some things up. He felt like he was running the program a little bit too loose, right? And post game, what's happening, man? Thank you for commenting. I truly do appreciate it. I see you, man. Thank you for being in the building. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Streaming on 3 different platforms right now. So I appreciate you guys. My energy is up today. My energy is typically always up, but it is what it is. Happy about it, right? So I want to hear Steve Spurrier's take on this game, because I know Steve Spurrier would have had a meltdown. We saw a great scene in college football. We're not going to talk about this team today, but we saw a great scene. So Syracuse, right, gave up 45 points to Tennessee a week ago. They struggled with the team. I forgot who they played this past week. And we seen them doing gashers at the end of the game. That's coaching. That's elite level coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because as a coach, your job is on the line every year, right? There's some people you say, okay, they're not fireable. Of course. But if, you have developed a great reputation, you have won a lot, but let's say your personality isn't the best personality and you start losing, they can get rid of you. And in some cases, they will get rid of you. This is college football. Nothing is guaranteed. We all know that, right? So, yeah, South Florida stunning Florida. This is crazy. I didn't deem this one as an upset pick. I was like, I really like what I saw out of South Florida versus Boise State. I love the physicality that they brought. I love that Byron Brown, who's fresh off an injury, wasn't running from any type of smoke. He was just trying to run over any and everybody. And we saw that a lot this game. It's just a bunch of bad plays after bad plays. You had the safety that could have been avoided. I feel like DJ Lagway at times during that game was seeing ghost. And I'm starting to think this may not be the right school for him. And that may be an overreaction, 2 weeks into the season. Well, really 3 if you count week 0. But it might not be the right school for him. Maybe he needs to go play in a more quarterback-friendlier offense. I mean, we see Carson Beck is lighting it up right now, right? Colin Klein. Is Kansas State missing Colin Klein? I tell you, boy, because they've looked like trash. And I said it a week ago, even when they won. And, and their Twitter team talking about how clutch Avery Johnson is. Bro, you out here struggling with Circuit City University. Like, what's really going on? But, in the grand scheme of things, Colin Klein, what he's doing at Texas A&M, shout out to him. They are putting up points. Mike Elko has got something brewing, and I want to see what they do against Notre Dame. That's the calibration game for me. If they go out there and they beat Notre Dame for double digits, look out, because that may be the team to beat in the Southeastern Conference. Alrighty, Frenzy and Starkville. What an amazing scene. Like, so for the people that love the NFL, I get it. NFL gave us a great showdown Sunday Night Football. I don't know if you guys saw the game. Buffalo Bills. I am a Bills fan. I don't know if you guys know that. That's really the only time I watch the NFL. Is if the Bills game is on. And guess what I was doing? I was preparing for today's show. I'm listening to it in the background. Got a TV right here, preparing for the show. Well, of course, when it got close, let me put these notes down real quick. Let me go over here. You know what I'm saying? And watch the rest of the game. And I was pumped. I was loud. I know everybody in my building heard me, but I don't care. It is what it is. But the scene that you got in Starkville Saturday night, and even with I think his name Brandon Walker. Guy from, is he from Barstool? I want to say he's from Barstool. My fault. But yeah, it is Brandon Walker at BFW. Like, seeing his reaction. I wish I had the video here. Just seeing his reaction Saturday night, being a Mississippi State fan. Like, college football will turn you from a grown man into a 5-year-old little girl. That's what it would do. And that's what he looked like in that scene. But you just saw the sheer emotion. And they needed that win. Starkville needed that win. Jeff Lebby get his first signature win in Starkville. I knew he would figure it out. I think a lot of people was hard on the team. A lot of people project them to finish last in this conference. And I was telling people, I expect bowl eligibility out of them. Another team I whiffed on is UCLA. I'm out. Jashawn Foster's officially moved himself into the hot seat. I'm out on you, UCLA. Y'all can have that. That showing y'all showed this past Saturday was piss poor. Excuse my French. It was piss poor. I'm out on UCLA. Y'all can have that. Nico, congratulations, buddy. You played yourself. And I played myself as well, believing in you guys. But yeah, Frenzy at Starkville was crazy. absolutely amazing. Just to see that, I saw a lot of great things on Twitter. I'm sorry, during X that time as well. I saw people like, yo, where they gonna put, like, because, you know, a lot of times when you see they take the goalposts down, whether it was in Boone or when they took it in Knoxville, they had somewhere to throw it. Everybody like, yo, where they gonna throw the goalposts at? Or even in Nashville a season ago when they upset Alabama. And we like, yo, where they gonna put the goalposts at in Starkville? And I think that's absolutely hilarious. But shout out to Jeff Lebby. Shout out, Blake Shapen has been through so much. That throw had to mean the world to him. It really did have to be, you know, for having early success at Baylor and things not quite panning out, getting injured last year when he had 8 touchdowns and 1 interception. And I don't think, and they had an opportunity to beat Arizona State a year ago. And I knew Mississippi State was better this year. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The game wasn't even as close as it had seemed. Mississippi State was up 17-0, squandered the league. And then I think, you know, BFW said it best. He said, oh, typical Mississippi State football. He thought the game was over with. But shout out to them. That scene in Starkville is amazing. And this is why we love college football. And this is why, you know, for the 36 weeks we don't have college football. Yeah, I think it's 36 weeks exactly that we don't have college football. This is why we talk so much about it in the offseason. For moments like this, that you can't script it. Hollywood couldn't script it better because some of the stuff Hollywood wouldn't even believe. Like, it's that type of ordeal. Baylor defeats SMU in double overtime. I got to say something. Kobe Prentice was one of the signings that I like that Baylor got this past season. And he's been very productive during his tenure there. The slot fade. Is there a quarterback in college football that throws a better slot fade than Sawyer Robertson? I mean, with the accuracy and precision that he throws it. And sometimes he's making extremely tough throws on, like, 4th downs. Like I said, Luke Altmaier at the quarterback position was the clutchest player I seen in college football a season ago. Right now with Sawyer Robertson. Sawyer Robertson has been absolutely dealing. I'm going to talk more about him on our Around the Nation segment when we get to our Heisman watch. His draft stock should be going up. Prototypical size. He's a legitimate 6'4", right? Not a dual threat, but he is mobile. He can pick up first down with his legs. And I know some of the scouts probably won't like that 3/4 throw that he throws sometimes. But this kid is absolutely dealing. I told them in my chat in our CFB Nation chat, there isn't a quarterback playing better right now. And I told them too, like, I watched both of these games in its entirety. There isn't a quarterback playing better than this kid right now. So shout out to them. Great win against SMU for an old Southwest Classic showdown. SMU had so many chances to win that game. And I think the Zebras helped them out a few times in that game as well. Illinois dominates Duke and Durham. That one really set me back mentally, because I'm like, alrighty, I feel really good about this Duke team. I love what Manny Diaz was able to accomplish in year 1 in Durham, but I'm like, this is a good test. I looked at Illinois' schedule, and a lot of people, I was like, if they can win this game, they'll start the season off either 5-0 or 6-0. They got 7 home games this year before they go face Ohio State in a winnable game. They can beat Ohio State. They can beat any team in that conference. I 100% believe that. And put some respect on Luke Altmaier, please. The disrespect that kid get, I don't get it. I just said that on this show a week ago. Why is Luke Altmaier so disrespected? He went in Durham, and all he did was put up numbers, bro. That's all he did. They got an outstanding defense, but to beat them the way that they beat them in Durham, that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. So you guys already know I was super high. I was already super high on Illinois. I'm even higher on Illinois now. 45-19. Luke Altmaier threw 3 touchdowns, right? And then they got a number 1, Hank Betty. I thought it was going to be the guy Hustle commit, but back-to-back weeks, Betty has had over 100 yards receiving. They found their number 1 wide receiver. And that's what I was telling everybody. Hey, I know they lost, and Franklin and Pat Bryant, they lost a lot of production. But they will figure it out because Brett Bielema is one of the best coaches in all of college football. I believe in the culture that he's developed there. I really do. So shout out to Illinois. Shout out to those fans of Champaign. They deserve it. There's a lot of fan bases who deserve a really good team. Illinois is a show. They should be here. Don't slow down. Don't slip up. Continue to win. They should be favored in all of their, I think, games up until they play Ohio State. As a matter of fact, let's pull up their schedule right now. We're going to pull it up live because I want to see what their schedule is like, because I thought if they can get past this game, they'll start off the season 6-0 before a date with Ohio State. So I'm going to pull it up really quickly. My apologies. Let's see what they got. All right, let's see what they got. Alrighty, so they got Duke. Okay, they got some tough games. They they're on an open week this upcoming week. Then they play Western Michigan. They'll win that. They'll be 3-0 at Indiana. That'll be a tough game, but I haven't been impressed with Indiana this year. I think they win that. And more importantly, I think Illinois will be favored. Home versus USC will be a tough game, but they'll be favored. At Purdue, they'll be favored. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0, but play at 4. You got a game in Champaign versus Illinois. And don't quote me on this, but I believe College Game Day has never been to Champaign. College Game Day, do the right thing. If you have a top 10 matchup with Illinois, playing Ohio State in Champaign, that should be the game you're going to that week. I don't care what game you have. So that's the game I'm watching. I really think Illinois can start. Illinois can start this year 6-0 before they play Ohio State. And after they play Ohio State at Washington, then you got Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. Right? If they stay healthy, because health is important in this sport, and they play with confidence, there's no reason why they shouldn't make the college football playoff. There's no reason. They should at least go 10-2. They go 9-3, something is wrong. But they, because Maryland has looked good this year, but they didn't look too hot against NIU. I was at that game, by the way. NIU definitely had opportunities that game. That at Wisconsin game would be tough. But yeah, Illinois, bro. I'm higher on them than I originally was. But that's good. When you do your research, you start looking at teams, you start saying, okay, who's worse than I thought they would be? Who's better than I thought they would be? Baylor, I just really wish they won that Auburn game. But I think Baylor will be favored in the rest of their games, too. Let me pull up their schedule. I truly do believe Baylor should be favored in the rest of their games. Let me get this up real quick. I think Baylor, other than the Arizona State game, but we got to see how well, they get it together, because Sam Levitt did not play well at all. So they play Sanford. That's at 12 p.m. ESPN. I'm going to that game. I got to go see this team in person. Then they play at home versus Arizona State. Then at Oklahoma State. At this point, there's a lot of G5 teams better than that team, and their coaches on the hot seat. Kansas State, I don't believe in. At TCU, I'm not sure they'll be favored that game, but they probably will be because of the momentum. Then Cincinnati, UCF, Utah's a really good team. Arizona and Houston. Oh, welcome back. What's my dog name? Noah Fafita. Welcome back, Noah Fafita. Good to see you where you're supposed to be, brother. Alrighty, number 5. Iowa State wins another Cyhawk Classic. Kyle Conrad drilled a 54-yard game winning game 16-13. And I told you guys I have people that I deem as the official spokesperson for teams, like at Boston College's Nino. Whatever he says is gold. Boomer, it's Oklahoma. Whatever he says gold. And he predicted in the preseason that Oklahoma would be in the college football playoff this year. Oh, by the way. Moon, any team in the greater Atlanta metropolitan area. Yeah, he's the official nod for that. Jalen is Illinois. So I got people, Brian Bossard, South Carolina. We have people within our circle, SC, Oregon, because he's close in proximity to the program, been to a lot of their games. So we have people that I trust. I trust their voice. I trust their opinion on it. And D now said he's out on Mark Gronowski. That hurt my soul. It really did. Because I thought he would be a great fit there in Tim Lester's scheme. But for some way, shape, or form, it's just not working out. I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully they figure it out. Long season. They're only 1-1. Still got 10 games to prove who you are. And that's the beautiful thing about this sport. You can have one bad week and then next week everybody love you, right? What's going on with Arch Manning? That's just things I think about while I'm live. Because there was a throw that he make, and you saw him like you could see it on his face, like grimacing a little bit. Something's going on with that kid. And then Oklahoma. John Napier should be number 1 in the Heisman watch right now. As much as I, feel about Sawyer Robinson should be in there. I don't think he'll be in the mix just yet, but in my opinion, he's there. He's either 2 or 3, depending on where you put Garrett Nussmeier at. Is there a reason to be concerned about LSU offense? Just things I think about while I'm live. I don't know. Is there a reason to be concerned? I don't know, but they were able to win the game 24-13. Brent Venables' defense looked like Brent Venables' defense. You know why it looks like Brent Venables' defense? Because he can say, I got this kid, that offensive coordinator who knows what he's doing. Special teams and defense, I'll put my focus into there because I got a kid at quarterback I trust. I got an offensive coordinator I trust. Let me focus on the things that are in my wheelhouse. And Oklahoma looks really good. Oklahoma looks outstanding right now. They really do. Alrighty, so that's our into the news segment. So shout out to week 2. And as big as of a week as week 1 was, week 2 was better. That's why I say sometimes you just can't go by the games, because week 2 was better. It really was. And week 2 got me excited to go to Baylor. There's some Friday night games. There's a Friday night game I really want to go to. I'm not sure which one it is, but I will be going to 2 games this week. I'm going to Waco for sure. I got to go down there. I gotta be in that environment. I got to see this thing in person. All right, so let's move on to our next segment, which was going to be our Pick'em League. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Alrighty, so this is the Pick'em League that I'm in. It's me and a bunch of other creators, college football creators, and personalities who are really good at what they do. The Herb Bros, I've been looking at a lot of his tweets, liking a bunch of them. He really knows college football, really impressive. So let's talk about this Pick'em League. So I was in dead last. I think after the first 2 weeks, after week 0, I was in dead last. And this is the thing about college football, and the beautiful thing about it. So you have teams that you calibrate at a certain level, right? And then as the year go on, you start to figure out where they are, right? So last week 1, I had Alabama here, right? And then, we got to recalibrate. You're not where I thought you were. Florida State, here in the cellar. We got to recalibrate. You are much better than we thought you were. That's the beautiful thing about it. But there's teams like Baylor, even though they lost to Auburn, it didn't move me. I said Auburn couldn't stop that offense. As the SEC defense, they could not stop that offense. And then the same thing for Baylor, because, Baylor couldn't tackle anybody. Struggled with that this past week as well. They're going to have to figure that out. And I don't think it's a schematic thing like it was week 1. It's just, go make a play. Go have some heart. Stop letting these teams disrespect you. See, I couldn't be a coach at this level. You have a week like that, you're going to wear a slur on the back of your jersey. Like, it's going to be like, punk. I'm a B-word. That's going to be your nameplate, bro, until you prove differently. That's why I shouldn't be coaching at this level, right? So, Pick'em League week 2 update. The governor is officially back in the mix after starting at the bottom. Now we here in week 0 and week 1. I was perfect this week, 8-0. Love my picks this week. I was so confident when I gave my road dog the picks. And it was just one of those things, like, I was confident Michigan State could beat Boston College, right? I was confident Baylor could beat SMU. I was confident about the upset alert in Starkville. Called that one as well. And I don't know, it's this weird thing when you're picking games, because picking games is really hard to do. Because, if you bet and you do parlays and you play with spread and stuff a lot of times you even doing prop betting, or you're playing the spread, a lot of times you're not really doing money line. At least in my when I bet. So it's a little bit of a nuance, but shout out to everybody in this league. It feels good to be tied in first, and we look on to to do the same thing next week. We're building momentum. We're showing the entire college football world we know ball, and we back up our guarantees and the work that we put in the off season, because we all put in this work, not just me, but you all the 1%ers who watch the show in the off season, where everybody's going camping and fishing and vacating, and y'all can be doing those things, but y'all in the corner watching the governor, y'all in the corner watching my boy Moon or Nina or Nino or D-Now or Boomer. You guys are watching or Pate or Joe Klatt or Crane and Company. The people who talk about this sport 24/7, you guys are watching them. So, you guys know we put the work in. If you watch this show, if you only watch 5 minutes of this show, y'all gonna say, well, he know what he talking about. That you only got to watch 5 minutes of the show to know that the amount of work that we put in over here. So yeah, super excited about it. And then the current leaderboard, me and the Herb Bros. Shout out to Herb Bros. We're in first right now, 14-7. Gridiron Ascensions is in second place at 13-8. And this is the thing. 1 week, like, this can all change. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to continue to do our thing. Saturday Showdown, CFB home and CFC are in third place at 12-9. Fourth place at 11-5. We got 2 others in the last, in the second last place, and then, somebody's 10-11 right now. I've been in the cellar. It is what it is. So, feeling really good about this. Happy about how this week panned out. Going 8-0 was important to me, and I figured nobody had ever went, because college football is so unpredictable. I figured nobody ever went 8-0 before. So the fact that we did it here, we know ball, and I feel like we just got to say that, right? So let's go and move to our next segment. Governor Reacts, and we're going to look at this AP poll top 25. Alrighty, so we're going to react to week 3 of the AP poll. Like I said, CFB Nation poll will be out either later on today or tomorrow, depending on when Nino wants to put it out and when I get him the results. I think we got 1 or 2 more people that got to submit theirs, and then I'll do the calculation. So, AP poll top 25. Typically, when I'm reacting to stuff, I want to have a reason to get mad. Things are starting to play themselves out, so I don't have the right to get mad. I don't have the right to get upset about anything, right? And that's the beautiful thing about a poll. Like, once you get into the thick of the things of the season, it'll play its way out the way it should, right? So, AP poll top 25, week 2. We got Ohio State, number 1, 2-0. I think the interesting thing is no person who's doing the poll had Penn State at number 1. I think that's really interesting. And I think that's a good thing for Penn State. I really do. But 34-0 against FIU. That was the other game I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to the Shula Bowl. I really love the Shula Bowl between FIU and FAU. But Ohio State at number 1, they beat the crap out of Grambling 70-0. Up next, they're playing a gritty Ohio team that just upset West Virginia, right? Penn State 2-0. Up next, they got Villanova. You know, Penn State is going on there. We're not playing anybody tour in our non-con schedule, and it is what it is. It's our prerogative. LSU defeated La Tech 23-7. Up next, they play Florida. Guess who's on upset alert this week? LSU's on upset alert. Because I see a team that is struggling to put up points right now. I don't know what's going on with Joe Sloan and that offense right now. They're struggling to put up points. After 2 games, they're averaging 20 points per game. This is LSU. On paper, one of the most highest octane offenses in the sport with an electric and dynamic guy at quarterback, and they're averaging 20 points per game. And guess who's coming to town? Billy Napier and a team that just lost to South Florida. So who's on upset alert for week 3? LSU is. And I know y'all looking at me like I'm crazy right now, but I've called it before. That's all I'm going to say. Alrighty. Coming in number 4, we got Oregon, 2-0. Hey, Dan Lannon is a sicko. You know how I always talk about, what coaches, if we had to go fight some people, right? I know y'all seen the little trend that's going on right now, whether it's TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever you watch Reels, whatever it is, whatever's your preference, whatever you like to do, where a father comes in and tell a kid, hey, such and such father trying to fight us, and he bringing his son. And sometimes you see the kid be like, they be nicked, right? They don't really want to fight. They be like, but what's going on? Like, the kid becomes the adult in the conversation. You see other kids, I'm like, what? They be playing their little, I don't know the name of they switch or whatever they playing. They say, who want to fight? You see the little kids throw their little jump down, they put on their shoes and say, come on, because they ready. That's how I feel when I evaluate coaches. What coach will want to go to the trenches? Who want to go to Glass Manor? Who want to go to Oxon Hill, Maryland? Right? And we had some business we need to take care of. Who I'm bringing with me? Brett Bielema, come on down, right? Shane Beamer, come on down. For some reason, I think Dabo Swinney got hands. Come on now. But you know who else? Dan Lannon, because Dan Lannon is a sicko. I don't even want to fight Dan Lannon because something is wrong with that guy. Him and, Coach Gundy, exchange some pleasantries, or lack of better words. And 69-3, bro. Miami. It's coming in at number 5 at 2-0. You gotta love it, bro. You really do. You really do. I love what's going on in Coral Gables right now. I ain't mad at that at all. Georgia 2-0. They defeated Austin Peay 28-6. Big game versus Tennessee. Really big calibration game for Tennessee. And I shouldn't be using the verbiage calibration game. As I said, Syracuse was a calibration game. And clearly we found out 2 things. Their offense is explosive with Joy Haswell as the offensive coordinator and Joy Aguilar at quarterback. But their defense did give up a lot of points. So how would they fare, at home in Knoxville when that team from Athens coming to town? I'm interested to see that. We do have Texas, number 7. I think that's a little too high. Defeated San Jose State 38-7. Up next, they got UTEP. And you look at this Texas team, and I think some people didn't like the fact that, like, Arch Manning was so excited on the sideline, when he had the little, the little photo when he's, like, yelling, like, he got the right to be happy. Didn't play well last week. Didn't play 100% poorly either. You just didn't play well a week ago. So, yeah, it feels good when you win. What do you throw, like 4 or 5 touchdowns in, like, 4 minutes or something? That was crazy. Notre Dame, number 8. They on 1 idle this week. They play Texas A&M. That game is in South Bend, but let me tell you something. Colin Klein is cooking up something there. Marcel Reed, I kept saying all offseason, hey, is he going to make that next step in development, right? Texas A&M looks really good. And Texas A&M should be higher on this list. They really should be. I'm just saying. Alrighty. Coming in number 9, Illinois. Has Illinois not done enough to be higher than Notre Dame right now? Has Illinois not done enough to be higher than Texas right now? I'm just saying. Defeated Duke 45-19. Up next, they got Western Michigan, as we discussed earlier. Florida State coming in at number 10. I love it. I'm here for it. Because that team has looked dominant, bro. And I know it was East Texas A&M, but 77-3 after they put hands and feet on Alabama. And then up next, they got Kent State. They 3-0, bro. Mike Norvell. Dun, 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 dun. We talking about Coach of the Year for Mike Norvell already? Heading into week 3, Mike Norvell. That's how you feel, bro? I respect it, brother. I respect it. I ain't got no issues with you. South Carolina, I'm a little disappointed in South Carolina because I saw Virginia Tech. I saw Vandy put hands and feet, and styles make fights. I've always said that on this show. Just because Team A beats a team by X amount, Team B beats a team by another X amount doesn't make it equal, right? It doesn't mean the same thing. You can't come up with the same ending because college football is such a nuanced sport that you just can't do that. You're not allowed to do that, right? But I did see Vandy put hands and feet on Virginia Tech, and I said, yeah, Brent Pry might be gone this year. 100%, right? And South Carolina, Virginia Tech mauled their offensive line, and their offensive line was a lot bigger than them. And then in this game for South Carolina, versus South Carolina State at HBCU, 38-10. Granted, South Carolina State has been really good at the HBCU level. A little concerned there. I hope they'll figure it out. I really do, but I'm just a little concerned there. That may be a little too high. Clemson coming in at number 12. Clemson needs to be lower. The disappointment that I've had in Clemson, and not that Troy is a bad team, but for me, they're still my national championship pick. And I know y'all like, Governor, you're crazy. You really do stick to your guns. You got daggone right. I'm going to always stick to my guns. That's just who I am. Loyal to the soil. But, bro, what was they down, like 10-0 versus Troy? Or did it end up being 16-0 to Troy? Ended up winning the game, but at home, dog. Wasn't like this game was in, Alabama. This game was at home. And back-to-back weeks, y'all put up stinkers, bro. So the first 6 quarters of the season, what Clemson score? 10 points in the first 6 quarters of the season? And we're talking about an offense that's supposed to be extremely explosive? Reason for concern. Oklahoma. Should Oklahoma be higher? 2-0. They won their game 24-13. Up next, they got Temple. Like I said, we have a great relationship with Temple. Shout out to Casey Killer. Love what Temple is doing right now. I really wanted to go see John Napier this upcoming week. I really did. Like I said, great relationship with Temple. It'd been easy to go there, get a credential, because I want to see John Napier and company go to work. And Casey Killer is just a coach I believe in at Temple. Not saying they're going to win the game, but what I am saying is, I remember his wife was saying, like, this is when Sam Houston first got to the FBS level, and I think they were like either 0-8 or 1-8 at that point. And he told this story when he was talking to Moon, and they were having their coach's conversation, and he said his wife, because typically a lot of times your better halves can always tell something going on with you, and she was like, yo, you guys are losing, but you seem happy. He said, yeah, I've never seen a team fight so hard. I never seen a team. He said you wouldn't even be able to go to practice and see that this team is 1-8. When he told that story, that's when you start to get those chills. As a former player, you get those chills. You're like, yo, this coach is amazing. So the success that Temple is having, great. But I would have loved to go see Oklahoma. Haven't seen them play in person yet. And like I said, it's been an easy credential to go get. I just want to see Baylor that badly. I may change my mind, but I doubt it. I just really want to go see Baylor. All right, we got Iowa State coming in at number 14. Defeated Iowa 16-13. Up next, they got Arkansas State. Tennessee 2-0. Defeated ETSU 72-17. And they got that team from Athens coming to town up next, and I'm mad at that at all. Texas A&M should be higher in my estimation. Utah State 44-22. And up next, they got Notre Dame. Notre Dame had an extra week to prepare. How prepared would they be? There were some stints in that game for Notre Dame that I feel like C.J. Carr played pretty well. There were some other stints. I'm saying, we got some improvements to make. Teams are going to stack the box. C.J. Carr is going to be on you. Every game you play until you prove, and you do got some dogs on the outside at wide receiver, but until you prove, hey, we can beat teams, we don't have to be one-dimensional. And I'm sure Mike Denbrock has been working this entire idle week. I'm sure he has been to try to figure out, hey, What are some ways we want to beat this Texas A&M? Texas A&M is that pairing that I like. I like when you have a defensive-minded head coach, and Texas A&M do have that in Mike Elko. I like when you go get a stud at coordinator. Same thing Oklahoma just did this past offseason. Go get a stud at coordinator in Colin Klein. I've seen a difference in Kansas State since he's left the Little Apple. I really have. And it's heartbreaking to see. Ole Miss, 30-23. Great win on the road. A win that they couldn't, secure last year. Lane Kiffin. I'm a huge Lane Kiffin fan. I think you all know that by now. South Florida 18. I will have them higher. Defeated Florida 18-16. Up next, Miami. This college football world is going to lose its mind. It's South Florida going to Coral Gables. Collect another check, because they did collect a check for going into Gainesville. Collect a check and took a W. To see the coaches. Did you guys see the scene with the coaches? Where they because the coaches be upstairs, so they come downstairs and come rejoice with the team. They throwing down their headsets. The little lady, I don't know if she's the SIDF Florida or what her position is, but she's trying to tell them to calm down, but she don't want to interrupt their happiness, and she don't want to seem like a hater. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling I got when I was watching the video. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But the pure joy and excitement that you've seen with these coaches, the fact that they know that these players executed the plan that they put in place, that's college football, man. That's 100% college football. And you have to love that. You have to love that. So, great scene down there in Gainesville, seeing those coaches that happy. This is why we watch the sport. And this is why we'll argue with anybody. You say NFL is better than college football. If you're a lady, you're excused. I will ignore you. If you're a man, I might swing on you. I'm just saying, I'm from that environment. I'm from that element. Don't look at my stature and think I won't swing on you, because I will. All right, at number 19, Alabama. Maybe a little too high. I'm not saying they shouldn't be top 25. I'm just saying a little bit too high. They beat UL Monroe 73-0. Up next, they play Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, another team I'm trying to calibrate. Had a really great conversation with T. Thompson, who was in here for the vertical episode. Also, sorry everybody, I know a lot of you guys probably prefer what I like to call the horizontal, like you're watching a TV episode. Vertical episodes may be coming every Friday. I'm speaking to my dog Moon about it, picking his brain about it. You just get a lot more viewerships. You get a lot more subscribers that way, especially because I stream on Twitter, CFB Nation Twitter, my Twitter, and I also stream on my YouTube as well. And on YouTube specifically, they will show your stream to more people doing vertical. So I think I will be doing that every Friday. Utah, 63-9. Up next, Wyoming. Utah just going on. We had everybody tour. How many points they scored last couple of weeks? This team is averaging a lot of points. I know they're averaging 50 some odd points a game. They look really good. Texas Tech, Kent State 62-14. Up next, they got Oregon State. Texas Tech. Matter of fact, I want to say Oregon State is 0-2. I think I'm right about that too. All right, Indiana's at 2-0. They defeated Kennesaw State 56-9. Up next, they got Indiana State. I don't know how to calibrate Indiana. I really don't. And I hate when I feel obligated to put a team in the top 25 just because of, what they did last year. And they're technically undefeated. But I just haven't liked what I saw. Michigan at 1-1 is at number 23. Lost to Oklahoma 24-13. Up next, they got Central Michigan. How will this team fare without Sharon Moore, who's going to be serving this 2-game suspension? That's a question I got for everybody. Will they come out a little sluggish versus Central Michigan? Not saying Central Michigan going to win a game by any stretch of the imagination, but how will they look? And then they got Nebraska in. That's going to be a big game. Auburn coming in at 24. They defeated Ball State 42-3. Up next, they got South Alabama. Auburn has looked really good. Excited for them. I just got to see more. It's one of those things where I see you, my dog, and I'm going to let you know that I see you, but I need to see more. It's just one of those things. Missouri, dude, there was 2 games I was watching. Actually, no, I watched the Baylor SMU game, and then I watched the Border War. Why they calling it the Border Showdown? Get that the Border Showdown. Man, it's the Border War, bro. Stop playing. They got Kansas 42-31. It was one of those games where Kansas really impressed me in that game. And our motto here at Governor College Football: no moral victories. I get it, and I hear you, my dog, and I respect your opinion because you said, "Hey, Governor, we don't do moral victories around here." You right, but I think Lance Leopold is on to something. That's all I'm gonna say. Kansas. And this may sound crazy coming from the governor, is going to be in the thick of things in the Big 12. I truly do believe that. And Jalen Daniels has looked really good, too. So it's just one of those games, really good game, back and forth game. And, Missouri at the end was able to hold it. A lot of big drives by Probilla. He really impressed me that game, too. So really happy with that game. But that's AP Poll Top 25. Typically, I'm arguing and I'm shouting and I'm mad and I'm pounding the table. Not at all. Great job, AP Poll. But this is how the college football season works. Preseason polls, everybody hates. I don't hate them. They're talking points. There's stuff for a lot of us to talk about. If you do college football content in the off season, right? And you're doing an hour-long variety of the show, and you need stuff to talk. It's not easy to talk for an hour by yourself. It's easier when you have somebody to talk to. You can toss around ideas, spur of the moment ideas. But when it's just you and you just talking to, like Friday was dope because it felt like a mailbag episode. So I was just talking to people in the chat. That was really dope. So on Fridays, I'm going to ask everybody who watches the show, just go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube at Governor College Football. That's the best place to watch it because I want to see all of your comments come up and we can just talk ball, bro. I will completely go away from the notes that I had prepared and we can just talk college football. That's what I want Friday episodes to be. I want them to be fun. But great job, people. I ain't mad at you. I'm interested to see how the CFB Nation poll will fare. I know there's some teams that we're probably going to give a little bit more respect to than AP poll, but that's okay. But the thing I am surprised about, because AP poll I think had roughly 50 or 55 voters. Nobody voted Penn State at number one. Is a little alarming to me. Not saying that I am either. I think Ohio State, until proven otherwise, is the best team in college football right now. But I don't know. It's just surprising. Let's go and get to our next segment, Governor Room. Whose seats across America are getting hot? This is bothersome. These are the conversations we don't like to have. But I feel like one of my strengths, because before I started doing college football content full time, I was a manager in a fast casual business. I'm not sure what city you live in, but think like how Quick Trip is. Like it's like a grocery store mixed with a gas station mixed with a deli. And so I ran one of those general managers, made really good money doing it too. But the amount of time it took and dedication it took and having difficult conversations and confronting things head on, there were times I was public enemy number one, especially at the most recent, location I was at. Oh, they couldn't stand me. But things were always in black and white. And that's how I like to be. That's how I like to approach it. You're going to know where you stand at. You're going to know how I feel about you. It is what it is. Ain't never personal. It's just business. Like my dog Nino Brown said. Not CFB Nation Nino Brown, but Nino Brown from New Jack City. Never business. It's, what he says never. It's just business. What he says never personal. It's just business. And that was my approach to everything. And this I'm gonna approach the hot seat because I hate when I have to talk badly about coaches that I admire and respect. Brent Pry is one of those guys. Stand up dude, son of a coach. He didn't choose coaching. Coaching chose him. At some point he did choose it, but to see what's going on at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is one of the teams that is really close to where I'm at and. Really close is probably the wrong verbiage. It's a 3.5 hour drive, but anything that's drivable to, I deem close, bro. I ain't gonna lie. If I don't gotta get on the plane, it's close. You close, bro. But I really hate what's going on with this program right now. I really do. His seat is scorching. And the worst thing about it is he may get fired before the season's over with. They just lost 44-20 to Vandy. His buyout is only $10 million. With $6 million guaranteed in installments through 2027. That program has a rich history, rich tradition, pageantry. And to say, man, it's one of those things that if you're looking at the 9 wonders of college football, that's one of the 9 wonders of college football, in my opinion, in my estimation, at least for the teams that I've been able to see in person. But 16-23 since 2021, that's not Virginia Tech football. That's not what that lunch pail means. Great history, man. Some really great players came from Blacksburg and went on to have successful careers in the NFL. And I think he has the hottest seat in America right now. I know a lot of people going to say Billy Napier, bigger name, bigger program. But Brent Pry has the hottest seat in college football right now. It has been an absolute embarrassment to see where Virginia Tech is right now. Guess what? I'm credentialed to go there. I haven't been there this year. I have no desire to go. I was excited to see the Aflac Kickoff Challenge, just to see where they were at. But, I mainly went there to see what South Carolina looked like in person. I have no desire to go to Virginia Tech. And it breaks my heart. It's just a team I really want to do well. So he's number one on my list. Billy Napier, come on down. To the Price is Right. 20-20 overall, 14-7 at home. This past week they lost to USF 18-16 after playing them 500 thou wow to come into the swamp. So not only did you say, hey, athletic department, here goes the monies you need for the upcoming fiscal year. They'll need more, of course, but you guys know what I'm saying. But they took a victory there. They had a party in your city. Coaches celebrating in your facilities. That right there wouldn't sit right with me. It just wouldn't. That's one of them things where I'm a sore sport, bro. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning. I'm a sore sport, bro. Can you imagine the amount of fights I got in? You know what I'm saying? From being a sore sport or yelling at players on the team, yo. It's just what it is. Like I'll admit it. I'm a sore sport. It is what it is. You know, I'm an adult now, so I'm better at it now. But you know, coming up, I just hated losing. But to think about where this fan base is, where the donors are, where the boosters are, with this program. Hey, you got the roster. You asked for money. Here, we gave you the money, bro. Where is the production at? Where are the results at? Billy Napier, we kept you last year because you showed some spunk. You showed that you had some stones. But what's going on? 18-16 USF. Got one of the best offensive lines in all of college football. Y'all losing 18-16. Dogs on the outside, 18-16. DJ Lagway. My quarterback rankings, he's free falling. It really is, and I hate to say that. So let's talk about buyout. $22 million, $14 million due within 30 days of fired. No coach wants to be fired. And I'll tell you what, Billy Napier will have a job if he's fired. He'll probably have a P4 or even a high G5 job if he's fired. He'll get a job. And no more victories, right? That's our motto here. That's our mantra here. $14 million pardon gift ain't bad. You know, that's what us, the spectators, are going to say, right? It ain't bad at all. But yeah, Billy Napier's seat is scorching. I think some people would deem it the hottest seat in America. I think that's Brent Pryor, Virginia Tech, just because of the lack of success, 16-23. But 2020 at Florida, there's a guy out west who's 3-0 right now, who you did wrong, and who I said may have one of the best teams. You know, after G5 ranks, wasn't happy, but after they made the quarterback switch and Anthony Calandria has been named the quarterback, UNLV has looked damn good. You did Dan Mullen wrong. You didn't get Dan Mullen this amount of Dan Mullen 500. He'd have been good. He'd still be the coach, right? I'm just saying. So they got to figure this out. Fans started chanting "Fire Billy" by nightfall, and they got LSU, Miami, Texas, and Georgia on schedule. This thing is not going to get easy, but he'll shut some people up because I put LSU on upset alert. He'll shut some people up if he wins that game. Mike Gundy will be the first coach fired this year. 3-9 last year, 69-3 at Oregon after he ran his mouth. Buyout is a flat $15 million. I think the resources are plentiful in Stillwater. Not as plentiful as there are in Norman, but they're plentiful. Go get a guy. I know John Gruden said he'll die to coaching at SEC. Coach Gruden, come have a seat at the governor's table, brother. Let me tell you something. The Big 12 ball is fun. It's not your style of ball because you know you want your play calls. One of his play calls is probably like. Let me grab my notebook. I'm about to see the super secret notebook that I put a lot of my notes in. This is the super secret notebook the American gave us to us. Shout out to the American. But one of his play calls is this long, right? But let me tell you something about Big 12 ball. I enjoy Big 12 ball. If I could only watch one conference for the rest of the season, it would have to be two. Because at the G5, I want to watch an American game. And at the Power 4, I want to watch a Big 12 game. Yes, over SEC games. Yes, over Big 10 games. Because I know we're going to get SMU Baylor, what we just got this past weekend. 100%, right? And am I frozen or did my thing? Is my thing bugging? I just think my thing's bugging. Yeah, we good. So, yeah. John Gruden. Stillwater has some resources. I think you can get them. I think you can get the boosters and the donors excited. I think that you guys have a grand opportunity. But, hey, shout out to my dog Squid 10 Toes, man. Real brother there, man. Appreciate him. But yeah, so I think they will have a grand opportunity if they went and got a big coach. Go spend some money. Open up some money. And John Gruden will be able to fundraise like no other. He's going to work like no other. And he will restore the roar in Stillwater. And that's what we need. Mike Gundy will be the first coach fired this year. Kirk Ferentz, should he be on this list? I'm not sure. He's one Big Ten win away from being the all-time winningest coach in that conference history. But they can't keep having these offenses where your defense, and at the collegiate level, your defense hold a team to 16 points, you should win 10 times out of 10. At the collegiate level. It's embarrassing, bro. Tim Lester, I praised you all offseason. Oh, man. Iowa City, they're moving in the right direction, man. I tell you, brother, I really like what I seen out of Iowa in their offense. No. What is this? Like, come on, bro. This ain't 1995. This ain't 1965, brother. This is 2025. Like, why can't you guys get explosive players offensively? You guys have some great athletes defensively, and it's been proven time and time again in Phil Parker's defense. When the hell is Iowa going to play standard or decent college football on offense? I don't even like watching their games because that's how bad they've been offensively. It's an embarrassment, man. It's an embarrassment to the city. It's an embarrassment to them fans, and it's an embarrassment to them young kids you guys wave at the end of the first quarter. When are y'all going to put up some points offensively? Is it Gronowski? Is it Tim Lester? Give me answers. Is there enough players outside at wide receiver? Is it the running back? I need answers. What in the hell is going on in Iowa City, and why can't they score points? I thought we were heading into the right direction. You're making me look bad. Kalen DeBoer, you're still on the hot seat. Don't think you beat UNL Monroe 73-0, but his buyout is crazy. I'm telling you, whoever his agent is, he said, "Come here. We're gonna pretend it's coconut water or it's Kalen DeBoer, and I'm Kalen DeBoer's agent. We may never be Nick Saban, but one thing for sure, two things for certain: if you get fired, 73 big ones, you'll find another job. But if you get fired, 73 big ones, 73 million. That's his buyout." Bama got it though. We always talking about whose resources are plentiful in this show. Bama got it. Bama absolutely got it. Now, viewer discretion is advised because we're about to talk about the Heisman watch, and I'm about to talk about Sawyer Robertson even more. Let's get to it. Around the Nation. Alrighty, Heisman Watch 3.0, and there's a guy on this screen right now, America. No, let's say it like Bernie Mac. Let's see if I can do the lazy eye too. America. If there's a quarterback you haven't seen in this country, when I tell you he's one of the most exciting quarterbacks in all of college football, and when I tell you that I predicted that he will have the season that he's having this year, I did. When I tell you I got receipts, I do. When I tell you he's the best quarterback in the Big 12 heading into this season, it's Sam Levitt, bro. Oh, it's this person, bro. It's Barry Morton, bro. Is it? It's this kid you guys looking at on the screen. Leads the nation in passing yardage right now. 859 big ones through 2 weeks. Mind you, some teams have played 3. Let that sink in. Kansas State has played 3. Iowa State has played 3. Kansas has played 3. Fresno State has played 3. This guy leads the nation in passing right now. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, completion percentage, sub 60%. Where you wanted that in college. He is playing out of his mind. Even in the loss to Auburn, playing out of his mind. The throws that he makes, there's not a better slot play thrower in college football. And let me tell you this, he's going to soar up draft boards. I need to get Brian Bosarge on this show because I am terrible at evaluating quarterbacks for the next level. I can only evaluate them at this level for some reason. But I got to see what he thinks of Sawyer Robertson and where he's at on his list because I think he's going to soar. I saw a list of the top 25 quarterbacks heading into this season for the NFL draft. Do you know Sawyer Robertson wasn't none of the top 25? And this is why I get irritated. This is why I get upset. This kid is electric. I've been telling you guys time and time again, this kid is electric. And I tell you, and ain't a lot of quarterbacks playing him and the kid Josh Hoover right now in Fort Worth at TCU. Sawyer Robertson, I'm going to say this right now. Sawyer Robertson is the best quarterback in college football. You can have DJ Lagway. You can have your Arch Banners. Where's all our hyperbole? The guys you can have Drew Aller. I like Drew Aller, but you can have him. Cade Klubnik, yeah, take him too. Garrett Nussmeier mustered 20 points the last 2 weeks. Y'all can take him too. Give me this kid in Waco. He's the best quarterback on all of college football, but he is not first on the list for the Heisman Watch. It's John Napier, Oklahoma. What he's done these first 2 weeks, big win versus Michigan. John Napier should be number 1 on the Heisman Watch list. Enter this kid, though, right here. Enter Sawyer Robertson. I'm telling you right now, Baylor's going to go on a run. They're about to go on a run. They're going to figure this defense out. But I know this guy feels like, I mean, you guys hold him to 40. I get 42. That's the type of quarterback he is. And that slot fade, when I tell you, just watch that slot fade throws. It's the best you're going to see at this level. We'll talk about some other quarterbacks as we have hit our mark. Shout out to everybody who's in here watching the show. I truly do appreciate it. I really do. It doesn't go unnoticed. That's why I try to shout out to people who always show love. I will continue to do that. Also, shout out to some of my brothers in this industry at the independent level who's really doing their thing. Shout out to my dog, East Coast Gridiron. The fact that he's doing a lot of that by himself, Dante is his name. Incredible. Shout out to him. My dog, S.E. Ramiro, working. When I say he's working, I mean, it ain't too many people that go live as much as I do. I think Paul Feinbaum may be the only other person. There's other people out there that go live every day. I don't want to say I'm the only one. But when I say Dolo live every day for an hour, Dolo. You know, and when I say every day, I mean Monday through Friday. But there's SE be working. I'm always looking. I see your SE live. He live doing this. He live doing that. Bro be working. So shout out to him. Shout out to my dog Nino. He's not live as much, but I tell you this, he's working. Everything you see on that CFB Nation Twitter, everything you see on the YouTube, him, Moon. I'm missing his show, World of College Football, right now, but it's things outside of his control. But I tell you this because he talks about all levels of college football. But I tell you this, he's working on the website, thecfbnation.com. Make sure you guys check that out. Had a lot of fun with the show today. I came with a lot of energy because I just knew that, you know, the show, you know, it's Celebration Monday. That's how we feeling. We you know, Bills got to win too. Carson Beck, welcome to the Heisman Watch for sure. Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning, he will be off my list at this point. Dante Moore really lit it up. Jeremiah Smith, but like I say, Sawyer Robinson is the guy I'm pounding the table on. If this team could go on the run, finish with 10 or 11 wins, do not be surprised if this guy stand in New York second Saturday in December, and he's going to have an opportunity to win the Heisman. Not enough people know about him, but people about to find out because I see a lot of people tweeting about Sawyer Robinson now. That's all I'm gonna say. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And until next time, we see you guys same bad time, same bad channel, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We are here. And then also tonight, Overreaction Monday, we're live. Hopefully we can go live for College Football Showdown Tuesday and Thursday. I want to do previews this week now that we got Thursday college football games this week. So I'll talk to Nino. We're gonna have a rotating team of that. So you all take care. Shout out to the 1%ers. You all are the 1%ers. I'm gonna have some merch up soon, so everybody gonna have the 1%er shirts. Of course, I gotta get it first, so I gotta see how I look in person. So I will have some merch up soon. But yeah, shout out to you all, man. Y'all take care. Do something nice for somebody. Be empathetic. Be nice. All of that, and enjoy. We can rejoice. I know football was gone. I know a lot of you guys like the NFL just as much. You like college. Nothing wrong with that. I just like college a lot more. So I think we got 2 Monday night games tonight. I might be wrong. I don't know. You all take care though. Governor of college football. We're gonna recap ACC.
Hey, that's CJ
defensive minds. They have to be better.